It's 2026, and today we have something rather interesting. It's a matchup that I personally didn't think about until I saw this post from Aftail King. According to him, this lineup of Yonko versus Marines in an all-out match, he believes the Marines will be taking this one. So today I'm here to find out, is that really true or is it not? What's up guys, it's Hallow here, and today we'll be doing Admirals versus the Yonko. So let's just get the rules for this match out, which he plays himself. So to keep this fair, we'll be following those exact rules. First, every character in this battle are at their prime. So whatever you believe that character's prime is, that's what we're taking. For example, if you believe Shanks' prime was back when he had 2 arms and was considered equals to Mihawk, that's the Shanks we'll be using for this matchup. But if you think his current self is his prime, that's the Shanks we'll be using. Same applies for every single character in this list. So, moving on. Let's look at our list. Oh, wait. Also, another rule. The Yonko here are not coming as an organized group. We are just picking out these Yonko and we're just putting them on the battlefield. For example, let's say Marineford. They all have the single goal of defeating the Marines here, and at the same time, the Marines have the same objective, which is defeating the Yonko. But the only difference being the Marines are naturally coordinated, so alliances that could never happen in the Yonko will not happen in this matchup, and alliances in the Marines will be commonplace because the Marines are an organized force. So let's move into this versus battle and see what we are working with. In the Yonko side, we have Kaido, Prime Big Mom, Prime Whitebeard, Prime Shiki, Shanks, Luffy, Blackbeard. Then at the Admiral side, we have Fujitora, Green Bull, Sengoku, Aokiji, Kizaru, Akainu, and Garp. So with this lineup, you can now see our Yonko squad and our Admiral squad. First up, let's just see which squad has the more powerhouses. But looking at this list, I personally believe it's very much balanced because Garp and Whitebeard are technically on the exact same level. Some could say Shanks and Akainu are in the same ballpark as well. Same goes for Blackbeard and Aokiji. Same goes for Luffy and Kizaru. Same goes for Sengoku and Kaido, I guess. Big Mom and Fuji. Shiki and Green Bull's an absolute stomp, but we're not getting into that. Anyway, let's go into the matchup. So, I had this suggestion. The Admirals, they'll focus their attack squad on Whitebeard, since Whitebeard, he's the only one who would be open to working with most of these characters, since he has worked with them before or knows them. So I believe Whitebeard would be the worst one to keep around for the longest. So if the Marines circle their plan around that, I believe the best way to deal with Whitebeard without using too much forces would be sending Garp and Green Bull, because any less or any more would be detrimental to the Admiral side. If we try to speed run this shit and send Akainu and Garp for Whitebeard, this may sound like a good idea at hindsight, but this would really put people in a tight spot, because once they start attacking Whitebeard, this will force other top tiers like Shanks to jump in to save Whitebeard, because I don't think Shanks, Luffy, or Kaido are just sticking around as all the strongest fighters in the battlefield rush for Whitebeard. So the best option would be sending Garp and Green Bull to handle Whitebeard, which, if nobody interrupts, it's a very solid plan in taking down Whitebeard. I don't see how this would fail. But moving on, The next character they may want to deal with here would be either Blackbeard or Shanks. So if they send Akainu and Fuji, I feel Akainu and Fuji are the best pair to send for Shanks, for they would be able to hold him off a little bit. I feel like they should even be able to like straight up beat him if they're uninterrupted as well. And then we have Kuzan and Son Goku going for Blackbeard, except this is where the plan really falls apart, because if we go for Blackbeard now, Kaido is not standing for nobody, Shiki is probably not standing for nobody, same goes for Big Mom and Luffy. So the way I see it, the Yonko, although they are not working as a coordinated force, natural alliances are bound to happen. For example, Luffy and Shanks are sticking together, Whitebeard and Shiki are probably sticking together as well. Not really as a strong tag team, but I believe working together isn't out of their reach. Big Mom and Kaido are definitely working together. We saw that shit on Rooftop, but Big Mom isn't really that much of a good tag team partner, but hey, who cares? We have Blackbeard. Blackbeard will probably be that guy who's just sitting in the background. In fact, throughout the entire confrontation, I doubt Blackbeard would be the type to rush in front and deal with the enemies head on. The way I see it, he'll definitely sit back in the sidelines. So Blackbeard would be like that last guy who's just sitting in the back of the squad and letting the rest just go and fight like idiots. And then this becomes interesting. If the squad of Akainu and Fuji go for Shanks, Shanks could pretty much, in fact, let's say Akainu and Kizaru to make it a bit more balanced. So Shanks and Akainu start duking it off, Kizaru and Luffy start duking it off. Let's just settle this one matchup, which I know is going directly the way I think it's going. A full power all-out Luffy and a full power all-out Kizaru are pretty much evenly matched. Even if they are not, whoever who wins this fight wouldn't be able to continue anything afterwards. So Kizaru and Luffy are done. This pair is essentially done. Shanks and Akainu, depending on how much of an Akainu meat rider you are, you'd believe Akainu is coming out of this fight, but he's not. He's getting clapped. But even if Shanks wins this matchup, Shanks wouldn't be strong enough to take up another Admiral after this. Mean Shiki and Whitebeard versus Garp and Fuji. Oh, Garp and Green Bull, it's worse if it's Green Bull. But if it's Fuji and Green Bull, it might be the smartest option here. I see them taking it. I see Garp handling Whitebeard, Fuji and Green Bull taking down Shiki. But I don't think those two, one of them is definitely going down. If Garp goes for Whitebeard, Garp and Whitebeard are essentially cancelled out. Green Bull and Fuji, they might win because of good tag team ability, but after that they'll be pretty much done, and Blackbeard is just ready to sneak them immediately. Now it's a 2v1, a highly exhausted Green Bull and Fujitora versus Blackbeard, and this is not even to count Kaido and Big Mom, who are going up against Son Goku and Aokiji. Me personally, I see Big Mom handling Son Goku. May it be high difficulty or extreme difficulty, a prime Big Mom is beating Son Goku. I don't think I really need to explain my reasoning behind this, but I might even make a separate video for this. But that Kaido versus Aokiji, I think this is obvious. Aokiji is much faster and can freeze his opponent, so Kaido's going down here. Now we have a highly exhausted Kuzan versus Shanks. Now we are left with 3 fighters at the Admiral side versus Blackbeard and Shanks. Now this is how the fight pretty much boils down to: how damaged are Green Bull and Fuji post Shiki? Because a highly damaged Shanks post Akainu fight and a highly damaged Aokiji post Kaido fight are probably at the same HP level. I see Shanks taking it, but even if Shanks takes it here, Fuji and Green Bull, if they are able to take down Blackbeard, they essentially win, because Shanks is not taking the two of them down after that. But, big but here. Let's not forget Blackbeard is that guy. Blackbeard is damn near like a full power 100 HP Shanks who's just way more dangerous. So, and these two are like Greed Bull is very much high, Devil Fruit merchant. So Blackbeard would put heavy, massive damage on him. I see Green Book, he's going down pretty quickly after the Shiki fight. And then Fuji and Blackbeard will duke it out for a while, but I still see Blackbeard coming out on top in this 2v1 scenario because these two guys are not fresh. They will not be fresh after this. Shanks versus Kuzan could go either way depending on how much damage they take, but still too, Blackbeard after this is slamming whoever who wins that matchup. So either way, Yonko win, but the difficulty is always gonna be an extreme difficulty because this matchup is extremely close and highly unpredictable for the most of it. But it's very important to note that these Yonko are in their prime and dealing with them is not gonna be a very easy task. Contrary to most belief who think this is gonna be an easy victory for the Yonko, no, the Yonko do not take this easy, and neither do the Admirals take this at all. I believe if we were to take a probability, I would say the Yonko win 7 out of 10 times, and they have that couple 4 times where matchups are switched up where you could make an argument where Marines win, but still too, oftentimes than not, this group of Yonko just generally has more powerhouses and should be able to win this battle. Yeah, because I really think the biggest thing that made Earth-Tail King to decide that the Yonko are getting beaten by the Marines here is because he had considered these Yonko to be standing like individual idol beacons at different locations who would never interact or help each other whatsoever, which is not the way I see these guys operating, because natural alliances will happen, and once those natural alliances happen, they will inevitably be beating the Admirals. Overall, Yonko over Admirals. Yeah, I'm just tweaking with that one. If you want to see how I really rank these guys, so that you know I'm just not bullshitting when I'm saying all this, and I am not pushing any Yonko above Admiral agenda. I have both Akainu and Kuzan above Kaido. That's just me. I do not believe in any sense that there's a Yonko tier and an Admiral tier where no Admiral is in that Yonko tier above some Yonko. So if you agree with what I was saying, please leave a like and sub. And if you don't agree, please go in the comment section and explain to me why you don't agree and how you think this fight will pan out according to you. So, because this is all our own personal opinions, so I really can't get mad if you believe the Marines would win. But I still believe overall Yonkos have the better odds of winning here. Anyway, like, subscribe, and new video every week.